Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Before we get into today's subject matter, I want to let you all know that these shirts, the Woke Dingbat shirts, are now available to order. Link is available in the show description below to make it easier for you. I hope that you all will consider getting a shirt for yourself. For my UK friends, I am working on a way to, well, enable you guys to afford it because I know it's like really expensive at the moment. But the thing is, if more people here in Australia and the US and Canada, by the way, they do ship internationally. So wherever you are in the world, you can definitely get your own Woke Dingbat shirt. Even if you wear it around the place, fantastic. If you don't, you just keep it inside. That's all right too. But I am working on a way for my UK friends to be able to afford the shirt. But if you guys help out, and we have over 20 people order the Woke Dingbat shirt, then that will enable me to reduce the manufacturing costs because at the moment they're ludicrous. If you want something that is really high quality, which these shirts are, then they do cost an absolute fortune, unfortunately. So you guys wanted the shirts. I've made a way for you guys to get the shirts. So please do consider helping out our UK friends that are unfortunately dealing with a very rough economy at the moment. But anyway, I hope that you guys will consider getting a shirt nonetheless. And thank you to those that have already ordered. I'll get your order out as soon as I possibly can. You may need to wait a little bit, but don't worry, you will all get a Woke Dingbat shirt. This may take a little bit of time. That's all. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a radical, dear oh dear, a radical Australian bill introduced by the Greens Party. Personally, the Greens need to be done away with. I don't know why or how they are still a political party. It's because the Labor Party always latches themselves onto the Greens Party, even though the Greens are like the most radical. So the Greens Party in Australia, for my UK or Canadian or American audiences, the Greens Party is like the most radical woke party here in Australia. Labor is next, and then Liberal, believe it or not. Liberals are just like not much different to Labor nowadays. Slight differences, not too many differences at all. But the Greens Party under Adam Brandt, who is an absolute dingbat, wokest dingbat, pretty much of them all in Australia, that is, they latched themselves on to Labor in order to get bills passed. They've already gotten several bills passed, and this one they've introduced to make pro-abortion more extreme. Now, I may lose some of you that are following me because of my stance on abortion, and if I do end up losing you, that's on you. But for me, look, I know that there are some circumstances out there, but my thought process is we should always go number one, choose life. Life should be considered sacred. It is a blessing, not a right. We should protect it all the time, not just whimsically and, all that sort of stuff, give it away. But women seem to think that it's a woman's right to be able to end the life of an innocent child. And anyway, the Greens are wanting to make a way for women, midwives, you name it, as many people as possible to be able to do that for a woman. Essentially, it's crazy, okay? The Greens are once again pushing their extreme pro-abortion agenda, this time in New South Wales. Their latest bill seeks to allow nurses and midwives to become abortionists by prescribing abortion chemicals to expectant mothers, further entrenching the culture of death in our healthcare system. Family First strongly opposes this reckless legislation and calls on MPs to reject it. They had a rally yesterday with Dr. Joanna Howe as well as Rachel Wong. So if you don't know who Dr. Joanna Howe is, she's a lawyer and she's also a pro-life advocate, kind of like our Lila Rose in a way. Lila Rose does a similar thing over in the US, and our Joanna Howe does a similar thing here in Australia. And Rachel Wong from Women's Forum, she joined. And I think this is a good thing, right? We should have more people out there that are advocating for life, not trying to get rid of life, but advocating for life. That's very important. Rachel Wong goes, "It was a privilege to stand for women, children, and freedom with Dr. Joanna how Liberal MP Susan Carter and thousands of New South Wales citizens outside New South Wales Parliament last night to oppose the Greens' radical new abortion bill. This bill will force hospitals, healthcare practitioners opposed to abortion for medical, ethical, or religious reasons to violate their conscience or close / leave their jobs. Now, I did look at an AAP, which is an independent fact checker, apparently. They have said that religious hospitals, private hospitals that happen to be more religious, say Catholic or Seventh-day Adventist, and they don't want to perform abortions, then they won't have to close, but they will be forced to still have to give it. But I think it's actually really ridiculous how this new bill wants to force like Christians or religious hospitals to even end the life. Like, shouldn't you consider it to be really sacred? It will also endanger women, particularly those in rural and remote areas, by allowing dangerous medical abortions to be undertaken by underqualified practitioners without the assurance of appropriate medical care in the event of life-threatening complications. So essentially, they just want to make abortion across the board as radical as they possibly can. Anyone that can attempt to kill the baby, they want to allow that to happen. That's what this bill is introducing. Let's have more access to abortion, people. Doesn't matter the safety of the mother. It's like a very risky thing, man. It will, of course, lead to even more victims of abortion, both children and women. And I love it how, well, I don't love it, but it's interesting to me how you've got lots of women that will say, oh, this is healthcare, while putting your own life and the life that's inside you that's growing in danger. Well done. That's true healthcare. Instead of simply pushing for more abortion, imagine if the Greens put as much effort into actually addressing the underlying societal issues and inequalities that drive women to seek abortion in the first place. Lack of support, coercion, domestic violence, etc. Oh, but Violence Against Women Australia says no, but we'll allow men into female-only spaces. We'll allow men to do all kinds of different things if they claim to be a woman. But yeah, abortions are number one on our list, okay? We will actually allow more women to have access to being able to kill their babies. Like that is something else, man. Really something else. So abortion is already too easy to access in Australia, and the Greens want to make it even easier. This bill would enable more health practitioners to prescribe MS2-step, the drug used for chemical abortions, without requiring the oversight of a doctor. That's actually dangerous. This move ignores the serious physical and psychological risks that come with the abortion pills. Studies show that chemical abortion carries a significantly higher complication rate than surgical abortion, with women facing severe bleeding, excruciating pain, infections, and incomplete abortions requiring surgery. Worse still, women in regional areas could be left to manage these complications alone without access to emergency care. The reality of a medical abortion is far from what its proponents claim. Women taking the pills at home alone may experience hours, even days of severe cramping and heavy bleeding. Some reports passing recognizable human remains, an experience that can cause profound emotional distress. Man, it is highly traumatic stuff, right? I have friends of mine that have been through all this, and they will be the first to tell you, don't do it. Like, they ended up regretting it after going through it. It's pretty serious stuff. Like the chemical abortion is way different to the surgical. I'm not in favor of either of them, but seriously, the chemical one is literally the worst, and it puts a woman's life at more risk. But this new bill that the Greens want to pass, that should tell you everything you need to know about that party. Who is really the party of life, you may be asking, in Australia? Well, we don't really have many parties in the political sense that want to choose life, because they're slowly being done away with. Australia is becoming like one of those countries that wants to enable women to do whatever the hell they want. That includes having access to more abortions wherever they are. Doesn't matter. Like, let's kill as many babies as we possibly can here in Australia, right? That's the way they see it, which is actually really sad and absurd. So I'm glad that you've got people out there that are advocating for life all the same. I think it's a positive thing and it's a good step in the right direction. So we'll see what actually happens to this bill. Knowing the Greens and Labor, it will more than likely be passed because they've got the support of each other, and Liberals, a vast majority of them, will probably vote for it anyway because they're all dingbats. They really are. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, you be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.